Good morning, everyone. I'm Rick Trefser, standing in for Dr. Ferrier. She sends her regrets that she couldn't be here with us this morning. We're here at Texas A&M San Antonio, so I welcome all you for joining us here as we take a moment to celebrate a significant investment in the future of telecommunications and accessible information for our campus and the students of our future. In today's fast-paced world, instantaneous access to information is quickly becoming the norm. And businesses and educational institutions are struggling to keep up on a daily basis, spending time and money in constant upgrades to technology and broadband capabilities. We're very honored that the Texas A&M University system has seen opportunities here in San Antonio to invest while we're still on the ground floor of developing our campus, to ensure that our students have the greatest access to the information superhighway that is available. Please join me in welcoming our speakers. Dr. Pierce Cantrell, Chief Information Officer for the Texas A&M University System and Vice President and Associate Provost for Information Technology for the Texas A&M University. Councilwoman for District 3, Leticia Ozuna. Mr. Lou Brownfield, General Manager of VTX Communications. Dr. Rod Zent, Executive Director, Educational Broadcast Services and TTVN for Texas A&M University, and the Principal Investigator for this project. Walt Magnuson, who is the Director of Telecommunications for the Texas A&M University, and our Director of Information Technology Services, Robbie Callian-Burr. We also have some special guests in our audience. First, Tony Hockenberry, who's a training specialist for Educational Broadcast Services. Mr. Wayne Pacina, Assistant Director, Educational Broadcast Services with the A&M System. Thank you all for being here. The completion of this BTOP fiber optic installation represents a major step forward in the ability of the Texas A&M University, Texas A&M San Antonio to serve not only our students, but to advance the cause of research and education for our decades to come. To share from the community perspective just how important a project of this nature can be, I would like to bring forward our City Councilwoman who shares the vision and scope of this project and has been working on a similar initiative on the south side of San Antonio. Councilwoman Ozuna.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to acknowledge that the BTOP funding is absolutely going to be another key part of building out this great university. This university isn't just bricks and mortar. It's not just parking lots and student unions and recreational facilities. Absolutely, a university with this much promise needs these wide broadband pipes with redundancy and access throughout the state. Other universities that are participating in networks of this magnitude are seeing rewards in terms of the research faculty that they're attracting. They're seeing their students have the impact of connection to other major universities. This very much is the future of the country, the future of Texas, and the future of San Antonio. This falls in line a lot with what I would like the city of San Antonio to be able to realize for its students, reaching all the way down into the elementary ages, to give them access to the big pipes. Because access to big pipes like this, it isn't commodity access. We're really talking about infrastructure. It isn't which cart is going to get on the road. No, that cart with children isn't allowed on this road. It's about a road being built for everyone. So I congratulate the university in acquiring this BTOP grant in order to build out their infrastructure. I'm excited about the potential and possibility that's available here. I very much look forward to bringing my grandchildren to football games at this campus. I look very much in being a partner, having the city partner with the university to realize every single economic opportunity that we can, that access and investment to big pipe access like this will bring us. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman, for all that you do for our city. And you know that you have our full support in all that you're doing to try to drive forward your initiative. In the Texas A&M system, there are many people with the vision who spend their day-to-day activities looking ahead to many years down the road to prepare us for the future. And today with us we have Dr. Zent, who is one of those people, and it has been an honor to work with him and his team on this project. Dr. Zent?
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. You know, today we celebrate a new era of communications for Texas A&M University San Antonio with the connection of a broadband fiber to this campus. The university is so new that they have been able to leapfrog over much of the technology that has jumped right into the internet age for them. And in many ways, it is ahead of other institutions in the state with the ability to offer courses via the internet, distance learning, and other technologies. The leadership of this campus has embraced those rapidly changing lifestyles of the students who want immediate answers through iPhones, iPads, laptops. You know, about 18 or 24 months ago, it seemed like being in this facility and in this space was such a long way away. But today, this day came much more quickly than we ever dreamed. And fortunately, the leadership at Texas A&M San Antonio supported a project that would enable the campus to have a superhighway to the internet from the very beginning. And the technology behind all of this is based on fiber optic cable. And the way to get it here, Rick, was to find money, right? And that came when Texas A&M University San Antonio worked along with all of the other Texas A&M University CIOs to compete for federal funds from the Broadband Technologies Opportunity Program created by the American Recovery Act, or the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. So Texas A&M San Antonio and the system CIOs put their support and trust in TTVN and in Dr. Walt Magnuson, who wrote the grant that would fund the fiber to each of the Texas A&M University system campuses. Now, to make a long story very short, the grant was highly competitive. It was awarded to TTVN in 2010. We received $6.5 million in federal funds. We matched that with $1.5 million from TTVN funds and through a fantastic $1.5 million public-private partnership with local telephone companies. So today we mark that connection of fiber to this campus. And what does that really mean to us all? Well, you might have noticed when you drove in today that the University Way, that big street out front, is a really large multi-lane street that currently looks kind of like overkill to get to this one building, right? But years from now, it'll be able to handle the many, many students that'll be attending here with ease and at today's prices. Now, the fiber optic cable will work much in the same way. It has all the capacity we need for today, and the optronics can be easily upgraded to capacities that can be at least 100 times what we have today. Yet the cost is contained because we own the fiber. The capacity puts the campus technology-wise on par with some of the largest institutions in the United States. Now that means that cost-effective bandwidth is available now and in the future for classes with high-definition video conferencing, research projects that may need to move terabytes of data from campuses to supercomputing centers across the country and the world, and for students to access materials easily from both wired computers and, more likely, their smartphones and their wireless tablets. With us today are a number of people that made this possible. Let me introduce Dr. Walt Magnuson, who is the Director of Telecommunications at Texas A&M University, who wrote the grant, designed the fiber construction, and most importantly, developed the relationships with the local telephone companies who provided the necessary matching funds and partnerships to enable us to win this award. Dr. Walt Magnuson.
Morning, Rod, and thank you. It's a little bit over 2 years ago, as Dr. Zent said, that our boss, Pierce Cantrell, came to us and said, we're going to do this, we're going to make this happen. In the 2 years that we've been working on it, quite frankly, it's been the most challenging, yet most rewarding project I have done in the 25 years I've been with Texas A&M University. We quickly moved the construction of the A&M San Antonio campus up ahead of the pack due to the fact that the campus was opening and we needed to have facilities here to meet the requirements of the new campus. So working with the local crew and everything else has been fantastic. As Dr. Zent also said, we could not have done this without the cooperation of the telephone companies that we've chosen to partner with. When the NTIA first came to us, they said, you know, your grant is really interesting in that you have more partners with telephone companies than any of the other grants in the entire United States. They said, we kind of see that as a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing in that you've done a lot of partnerships, a bad thing in that it's going to be extremely complex. But they really have no idea how easy it's been to work with these folks. You know, Lou here from Valley Telephone has been very, very cooperative, and we've been working with him not only on the San Antonio campus, but also the Kingsville and the Corpus and the Laredo campuses as well. Currently have construction going on up in Stephenville and Texarkana, working with local telephone companies in those areas. So as I said, it's been very rewarding, very challenging. But we also, this is really, as Dr. Zent also said, it's very much an enabling technology. One of the things that's happening right now in higher ed is we're all getting together to share a lot of resources. Internet 2 has recently brought forward a number of new services, including voice over IP services, working on IPTV, sharing shared storage space, and those types of services take a lot of high-end, high-reliable bandwidth. So that this kind of connectivity ends up supporting us in those endeavors. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, the NTIA had the first kickoff meeting, and I believe Lou and his crew were up there as well. And you know, they said, we want you all to think about what you're going to do when this project is done. What are you going to be doing 2 years from now? And I kind of raised my hand and I said, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm taking a vacation after this one's done. Okay, so we are winding it down. Things are going along very well. We are on schedule and on budget so far and everything else. So this is going to be, I think, again, one of the best projects we have done. Very honored to be a part of it, very happy to be able to support A&M San Antonio and our colleagues down here in San Antonio, and looking forward to great things to keep coming. Thanks.
And now Mr. Brownfield from VTX.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting us here today. It's not often we get to speak in front of such a distinguished audience. I'm fighting allergies today too, so please bear with me. Like Walt, in 2010 we received and applied for 2 awards, both BTOP and BIP. The BTOP award we received was really a grant, a combination of a grant and a cash award that totaled about $22.5 million. That grant really built an infrastructure in the Rio Grande Valley, the south part of Texas. We also received an award for BIP, which was a total of about $78.5 million. So if you combine both of these awards, we've got about about $101 million worth of awards we received, and we had 3 years to accomplish the project completion. In other words, we had to finish by, I think the deadline is June 30th, 2013. So to say the least, we have all been rapidly working through all of the regulatory issues and very demanding things that the federal government has bore upon us. But the bottom line of all of this is this. We were selected for the awards because we received testimonials from institutions of higher learning, from community colleges, various municipalities, and our congressmen. That's really what spurred this public-private partnership. Without that, we probably never would have gotten the awards. We also presented a plan that was a joint effort of these entities to work together toward a common goal, and that's providing a high-speed internet network to both served and unserved areas of Texas. We also showed these projects not only bring high-speed broadband internet service to many of the unserved and underserved communities in rural South Texas, but they ultimately will produce jobs in these areas. Now, I already mentioned the fact that we've been through the state and regulatory hurdles that everybody's been through. We could sit here and commiserate all day on that, but that really won't get us where we need to get to. The bottom line is, and I agree with Walt in that a lot of hard work went into these projects and support from our partners, the participant community anchored institutions, those institutions that were standing behind us when we submitted our award, or our request for award, were just invaluable. Really, the three things we have to accomplish with these particular projects are this. One, we had to determine the viability of the project. In other words, why do we need these networks? And really, we need the networks so that we can provide the colleges, the universities, hospitals, government agencies, etc., as well as residences throughout the whole South Texas area. It gives them the ability to connect, or would give them the ability to connect to the internet at high speeds. The second thing that was most important was that we had to have accessibility. You can have a great network, but if you can't get people on the network, then how good is it? And really, that's the driving force. So what we did is we set up an entity which will have access to the networks, and that's across the Rio Grande Valley, as well as other communities, up all the way up to San Antonio. The third thing is sustainability. What good is a network if it doesn't last a long time? This isn't just a pipe dream. This thing is going to last for at least 20 years and beyond that. And really all we have to do is change out the electronics as we move forward, and the fiber will last pretty much forever. The real essence of all of this too is, and we're all under pressure to provide more jobs for the community. And today, what we're seeing, because we've announced the fact that we have built and designed and developed these networks and have rolled them out, that a lot of businesses who never would have entertained the fact of moving and relocating into the Rio Grande Valley or anywhere in the smaller communities in South Texas are now looking forward to coming here. So that's extremely important. Again, I agree with Walt on the personal gratification that we're feeling as these projects near completion, and that feeling is almost overwhelming. I don't think any of us realized the challenge that was going to be afforded us during this last 2.5 to 3 years. Knowing that we've been involved in the planning and implementation from start to finish, and that so many will benefit from all of this, hard work is extremely gratifying. Thank you, and that's all I have. I would like to recognize one individual, if I may. Would you join me in recognizing Marcus Ramirez? Marcus is the network manager responsible for designing our BTOP network and will ultimately be responsible for implementing and maintaining it. Marcus?
Well, Walt, I want to recognize that you did perform a lot of heavy lifting on this project and commend you for the work that you did to make it possible. And now to introduce the gentleman that Walt alluded to earlier, that was responsible for saying we're going to make this happen, and we thank him for making that comment and taking that stance. As Chief Information Officer for the Texas A&M University System, Dr. Pierce Cantrell reports to the Executive Vice President and Provost for Texas A&M University. He also shares the dual reporting as the system, A&M System CIO. So he has been with the A&M System since 1982, beginning in the academic world as an assistant professor of electrical engineering, then taking some more administrative duties later in his career. Currently, like I said, he is the head of the information technology as a CIO. So please welcome Dr. Cantrell.
Thank you, Rick. I bring greetings from Chancellor John Sharp and the A&M System. We really want to congratulate the Information Technology Department here at Texas A&M San Antonio and their director, Ravi Kalanpur, for being the second member of the A&M System to be live on the Texas Pipes BTOP infrastructure. So this project's really strategic to the A&M System. Project allows all the members of the A&M System to access high bandwidth circuits today at 1 gigabit per second, and as soon as they need it, up to 10 gigabits per second, with increased reliability in many cases. The bandwidth in the A&M system has been doubling about every 18 to 20 months. And you know, we keep thinking that it's going to slow down, but it hadn't, and it probably won't. Even if this rate continues on kind of unabated, I think Texas A&M San Antonio is good for the foreseeable future with all the bandwidth they're going to need. So what's been built here is fiber optics. We actually constructed fiber out the back of the campus and over to a local VTXC point of presence, and then we've leased a very long-term lease on fiber to get down to our point of presence for the A&M system network in downtown San Antonio. So really great kind of public-private partnership. VTXC's been a really wonderful partner, as Rod mentioned, both in Kingsville for Texas A&M University Kingsville and in Texas A&M International in the Valley. And then both the UT and the A&M systems, we operate a 10 gigabit ring that runs through the Valley. So it goes San Antonio, Laredo, Harlingen, Corpus, and then we have other fiber that runs back up here, goes on to San Antonio, but then fiber also goes on to Corpus. So the backup circuit that comes out of Texas A&M San Antonio, the main run, goes over fiber to Austin, but then it goes over VTXC's 10 gig ring that we and the University of Texas operate together. So we really appreciate Lou and Marcus' contribution to this. So, here we're at 1 gigabit today, 10 gigabits in the future. One of the things we leverage for all of this is that our TTVN, Texas A&M University System Network, our points of presence are co-located with major nodes of the Lone Star Education and Research Network, LEARN, which was funded initially in 2005 by the Texas legislature and really involves all of higher ed in the state on its board, both public and private, and we support a good piece of the long haul connections for K through 12 through the TETN network. So LEARN is Texas Regional Research and Education Optical Network, connects health science centers, community colleges, universities, and K through 12. TTVN and the A&M system also have a really long partnership with the UT system. So you think we compete in lots of things, but the networking business is one where we've worked together since the early 90s to do joint networks. So we in the UT system operate a 20 gigabit per second backbone over the LEARN infrastructure around the state, and that's what Texas A&M University San Antonio connects to here in San Antonio. So we're excited about the event today and the great partnership and the things to come. And so at this time, I'd like to ask Rick and Ravi to come forward, receive a commemorative plaque of the occasion, and to accept our congratulations for participating in the Texas Pipes Grant. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Control, Mr. Brownfield, and everybody who has worked so hard on making this all possible for the A&M San Antonio campus. Your leadership and commitment to furthering the cause of education by recognizing the importance of this functional technology is so important to the future of this campus. The possibilities presented by this fiber optic project means that the capabilities that we imagine today will one day be the reality of the future. And for all those that come to A&M San Antonio to study and research. And so once again, I'd like to thank you for all your efforts. And our faculty thanks you, our students thank you, and today we thank you for your vision and for being here with us on this great occasion. Thanks, everyone.